Today we're going to look at measuring diameters with the V9 height gauge, measuring IDs, ODs, surface to the center of a hole, and center to center distances. To do so, we'll need to establish an origin by coming down to the surface plate, engaging the surface plate, and setting a 0 with the 0 button. From there we can turn on diameter mode. Diameter mode is the little diameter symbol button on the bottom of the display. In diameter mode, you'll notice that you're always going to see a diameter as your top number and a center line as your bottom number. Your center line is always going to be the distance from the center of the hole to your 0 position, where we just set from the plate. At this point, I can measure a diameter. In order to measure a diameter, I need to engage the probe slightly off-center from the reversal point of the bore. So if I've entered relatively close to the reversal point, I will ensure that I'm off-center from that position. I will engage my probe. While my probe is engaged, there's a constant measuring force being applied to this probe. This is going to allow me to have a hands-free operation while I tram through the surface of the bore. The probe will follow the contours of the bore, finding the reversal point for us automatically. With my probe engaged, I can tram through the surface of the bore. I can then drive up to the opposite side of the bore, engage the probe, and once I drive back, my display will lock in on a diameter and a center line. That center line distance is coming from the plate. I can also measure an OD. An OD measurement is going to be done very similarly. If I come over to the boss, in the same operation, slightly off-centered from the reversal point, engaging my probe, with the preload engaged, all I have to do is pass up and over the reversal point, release the probe, bring it back down, engage the probe again, sweep it back through the reversal point, and again my gauge is giving me a diameter, an OD, and a center distance to the plate, 6.5 being the distance from the center of that OD to my surface plate. If I want to know the distance from the center of one hole to the center of another hole, all I have to do is tap the 0 button to establish a 0 to whatever the last diameter that was measured, and then I can measure the distance to another hole. So if I proceed to this smaller diameter, if I engage the probe again, sweep through the bottom, drive up through the top, and sweep it back, if I release the probe, I have a diameter, an ID, and I also have a center-to-center distance. Negative 2.16 is the distance from the center point of this OD to the center line of this ID. As we look at the display, you'll see that the 786 thousandths is the ID measurement, and negative 2.16 is the distance from hole to hole. The negative value is shown because the 0 has been set above the position that we just measured to, so my gauge has dropped down below its origin to give us a negative value. If the 0 was positioned at my larger bore and we measured up, the value would show as a positive number.
Working harder.